And now, from beyond our dimension, this is the JeffMara Podcast. Here's Jeff.
Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday to you. And if you're on the other side of the planet, happy Sunday to you as well. All right, I'm just waiting a second to make sure this is all running because I don't know what it's been like a month or two since I've been live. And it's funny that even though it hasn't been that long, it still takes me a second to kind of make sure, okay, that it's all working right. And it looks like it is all working right. And there's 99 of you watching right now. So welcome back. This is the new format, and I have people that want to be on the podcast, and so I think the best way that I can also do is just have guests here with me already scheduled. It'll be like a guest night, and you guys can help me out by asking questions, and we'll do it that way. So let's get right to it. We have Dr. Gail, and we're going to bring her on, and she's going to be channeling for us too. So if you guys want to be a part of that and ask her some questions. Hello, Dr. Gail. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes. All right. So let everybody know about you. Dr. Gail was with me in podcast number 770. She is an ET contactee. I guess originally from South Carolina, but she's currently living in Mount Shasta, which is like ET Central in California. She is involved in ET rescue missions where she helps rescue ETs, I guess, that have been captured by humans.
Well, yeah, but that was like when I was doing that last show we did. I've moved over into different areas now.
All right. And she also channels ETs. So you reached back out to me, and I think you wanted to talk about Lyrans. All right. Maybe you can give us like a couple minute synopsis of your background, because maybe, the podcast 770 and we're on 1000 was almost a year ago, I think. It's about 300 back. So let's start with you letting everybody know who you are and what you're up to.
Okay. Well, first I want to thank you, Jeff, for having me on again.
Well, thank you for coming back.
I'm excited and a little nervous.
Oh, but, you don't have to be. It's just you and me and a couple hundred of our best friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, my background is I was a nurse. I went to nursing school and started working in the operating room, and then decided to go to chiropractic school. So I went to chiropractic school in Georgia, and then opened my practice in South Carolina. And so my journey at that time was I was practicing, I was doing a little bit of nursing, and I was doing mainly, of course, my chiropractic practice. And my mother passed away and my dad developed dementia. So I had to retire from both nursing and chiropractic to help take care of him. And that was an 8-year hard journey. I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's hard to deal with somebody who has dementia and it's your father. But that's what brought me into where I am today. So after I was taking care of him, he passed away. And then for the first time in my life, I wasn't taking care of anybody. And we went in for COVID at that time. And I was looking around going, it's all about me. I'm not taking care of anybody. I'm not doing nursing. I'm not doing chiropractic. And I decided to do a lot of different things at that time. And one was meditation. And I thought, let me try this meditation stuff. And that opened my whole world up. First thing of course, I met my father who had passed away, and I met some loved ones. But the biggest profound thing was an angel came into my face, handing me a bracelet. And I jumped off my couch where I was meditating and running to my friend. I only had one metaphysical friend at that time. Her name was Meg. And she kept telling me, I kept going, I know I have a brain tumor. I need an MRI. And she kept going, I know you're okay. And then my journey began from that, where I was meeting a different ET species. First, it was an Arcturian.
Mm-hmm. Let me stop you for 1 second here. Okay. Now, when you said you saw an angel, you saw it during meditation or in waking consciousness?
Well, I'm going to say both, because the angel woke me out of consciousness because she was so bright and in my face that was jumping off the sofa and she was still there, and she was like handing me a bracelet. And I mean, really, I thought I had a brain tumor. I thought it was
Did
crazy.
she, do you, I mean, she handed you a physical bracelet. Do you have that?
I didn't take it from her. Just off the
And
couch.
what did she look like?
She was, well, she's absolutely beautiful. And I knew the reason why she was let in because my father was the guardian right at that time on who would come in to talk to me. Like he was doing all the relatives and things at that time. And he let her in because she was absolutely beautiful. And I went, of course he let her in. She was pretty. He let a pretty girl come
Mhm.
through. So she had big blonde hair, and I call it looked like almost like Dolly Parton blonde hair. She was dressed in all white. Now, when she comes to me in like earth wear, she wears white jeans and a t-shirt and tennis shoes and has still the big blonde hair. But she's absolutely beautiful.
Was she
And
really tall, like 8 or 9 foot tall?
no, she wasn't that tall. She was uh, she was less than 6 feet tall.
Okay.
She's not, well, that's mainly in her earth, because when she was in my face, all I could see was bright light in her face and that bracelet coming towards me. When she was in her form on earth, as I said, she comes in white tennis shoes, white jeans, white t-shirt, and that big hair. But how I know who she is. She has a big white around her, like white light around her at that time too. And I'm just going, you can't disguise that white light. I know exactly who you are.
Well, I was just wondering if she was possibly a Nordic ET, the big, tall blonde.
No, she wasn't. She's not a big tall blonde. She is actually an angel. So,
All right. Well,
but
did she tell you she's an angel?
yes, she has told me she's an angel.
Okay.
Yes,
Did she have wings like people assume that
she
angels look like that?
yes, she does have wings.
Hmm.
Yes.
All right. So you were with her. You thought you had a brain tumor.
Yes.
Then what happened?
Well, as I said, I mean, I woke myself up, and then of course she disappeared. I mean, I was in shock, and so then the next thing, my dad and I had created a place where we met. So on a bench beside a stream, a waterfall. Anyway, so one day we were sitting there and talking, and usually I'm talking to him about family matters and money matters and things like that. And this blue being came walking up, and I'm looking at her going, what is this? And she sat down beside me, and I'm going, why is my dad allowing this thing sitting down beside me? And that was my first ET. She's an Arcturian or descendant of Arcturians.
And
And
and this was in the physical form again, or meditated?
meditating. Yeah,
Meditating.
meditating.
Okay.
My dad has passed. So I'm meeting him in the other world, and then this is happening. Now, I kept meeting ET after ET. Now, one day, finally, not meditating, I was sitting in a metaphysical store talking to two friends of mine, and the first one came through the doorway that I wasn't meditating. They were standing in the doorway, and she is very tall. And my emotions went all over the place. I went from crying to laughing within minutes or seconds because of all the energy that came from her. And she stayed with me all day, apologizing that she didn't want me to have that reaction. She was anyway. So I have seen them. I don't have to be meditating to see them now. I mean, they're around me all the time. So
Can you see them with your own physical eyes in some way, or in your peripheral vision?
well, to me, like I've got two standing in front of me. I've got one behind me with their hand on my shoulder, trying to relax me. They keep saying, calm down, calm down. And they got a humongous hand. I mean, it's heavy on the shoulder. And so I've got two in front of me, that one behind me. And then there's some more that are behind me that I can't see right now, but they'll come up when I'm meeting them.
All right. Well, all right. So let's move forward now to what
Okay.
you wanted to tell us about the Lyrans. You have new information about them?
Well, I have new information about them. Yes.
And 1 second, I'm sorry to interrupt you one more time. I mean, one more thing.
Okay.
It's fascinating that you're here because the video I posted today is about cats and the Lyrans.
Really?
Yeah, earlier this morning. So, I mean, that's amazing coincidence that it
That
all
is.
worked out in that way.
Well, you're going to understand why when I tell you my messages from them. But
All right.
Okay, so anyway, I've been doing some shamanic journeying here since I've been in Mount Shasta. The reason I'm here is I've connected with the Lemurians, who are inner earth beings. They're also ETs, but they live in earth. And I've needed, because I'm connected with the ETs, I need to learn how to connect with the ones in earth. So I've learned to, met the elementals, and I've worked with them. And so anyway, I'm doing shamanic journey, which is, I'm going to the underworld, trying to work on some things. So, if people who don't know what a shamanic journey is, it's just a more structured meditation, that you're actually put out an intention of what you're going to do on your journey. And then for me, it takes me about 8 to 9 sessions before I get to the answer. Like on this journey, it was right after Thanksgiving, and I was going, why are we so gluttonous at, at these type of meals? And I wanted that journey to figure it all out. And so during this journey is when one of my guides, which is a Native American, his name is Chief Running Bear, brought me to a pond, and he moved the mist away. And I looked down in the mist and I saw myself as a Lyran. And I didn't think anything about it, going, okay, it's just another past life. I've seen so many of them. And I've met 2 different kind of Lyrans. The first one I've met was years ago, and she was the human-like, with like soft brown fuzz or tan fuzz. And then this one that I saw myself as was the blue Lyran. And the blue Lyrans I hadn't met before also. And they remind me of, I don't know if you've seen the movie Avatar. They kind of
Yes.
remind me of those beings, those blue beings on Avatar, except they have, or she has burgundy hair, and there's some differences. So anyway, then my Native American, he said that there's a message here, and he said the message was that the Lyrans are here. They're next to you. They're in another dimension. They're sitting right next to you. They're here to help the light workers help the people. So they're here protecting the light workers. They're telling me they're sitting right next to all of us. And I mean, when they say that, I was going, whoop, whoop, but they're sitting right next to you. They're saying in another dimension, they're here to help. So call on them for help. And that was a big message. And then they showed me our future, which I think is real important, because we're all so worried about AI and all these things right now. But they're saying our future is going to be where we're going to be connected to Earth, the trees, the birds, the rocks, everything, that we'll be getting our information from them. And again, I thought, well, Avatar, they kind of connected into the trees and things. I went, that makes sense to me. So we'll eventually be kind of like that, but not like that. And we'll be telepathic. And so we won't need our devices. We won't need the AI. We won't need any of that, because we will be communicating directly with the trees and Earth, and we'll also be telepathic, connecting with each other. So that was the important message that they wanted to put out there, because we're also fearful of what our future is going to be, which this is a legitimate fear, but they just wanted to let us know that that is what our real future is going to be, is that we will be just getting rid of all that. That'll be discarded.
It's interesting you said that, because I had a guest recently, probably within the last month, that talked about that we all have telepathy ability. We just forgot how to do it, or we need to turn it back on or something.
I think we are turning it back on. I think there's more and more of that going on. I think we're recognizing it. We're talking about it, whereas before we didn't. So I think that's the first, is knowing that we do have it, and then next start experiencing it.
So the message from the Lyrans is that we are telepathic, and we're going to be that way again. And then don't be afraid of AI.
Well, it's not exactly not be afraid of it. It's just that it's just kind of like a passing phase, because we will be connecting to Earth. We won't need any kind of devices. We won't need electronics. We won't need computers. We'll get our information directly from Earth. We'll connect to the trees and get the information that we need. If you need to speak to another human, you're going to be telepathic, so you can communicate with them. So it's just that it's going to be antiques. Is what the electronics are going to be. They're just not going to be needed, because we get our information so much faster just connecting to Earth, just grounding ourselves, or connecting to an animal, or connecting to a rock, especially the trees. The trees are the biggest ones that communicate all over Earth. And the trees have told me that we need to get rid of all our negativity on our communications, and then we will be able to join them. And so, at that point, I was going, well, are they above us? Going, because it sounds like because their communication skills are better than humans. But when we do get rid of the negativity on communication, then we will be able to join them, and we will be able to join Earth on all the communications.
So let me ask you this. Now that you're living in Mount Shasta,
Uh-huh.
are you seeing craft up in the sky?
Well, that's every day.
Every day?
That's let's walk out there and take a look at the sky. Yeah, that's a daily thing. I mean, everybody's so used to seeing crafts. Yeah, it's not even hardly talked about here. It's so normal.
Do you have pictures or video?
Of actual crafts? No, I am terrible. I am terrible about that, taking videos and pictures. The girl that helps me on my channel, Susie, she has caught several of them where she's videoed them, and I'm going, I see them all the time, and I don't do that.
Yeah, you need to do that and come back on a Saturday night and show us your footage.
Everybody wants that, and in a way, I'm kind of glad I don't, because everybody would be focusing on just that instead of the messages or the teachings or whatever. So they'd just be focusing on that picture that I've got. And so anyway, I think, yeah.
I think that would be amazing.
Yeah, well, you can just go up and just look at Mount Shasta and see they're just all over the place here.
Right.
I mean, as I said, it's just a normal thing here.
Well, do you think that the ETs are living under the mountain?
The Lemurians are in the mountains.
No,
in Mount
Lemurians?
Shasta.
All right.
They're the ones that called me out here, the Lemurians. And I didn't know who they were at first when they contacted me. In fact, I thought it was the Palladians that lived in Mount Shasta. I was still in South Carolina at that time, and it was the Lemurians who contacted me and told me that's what they wanted to be called. They wanted to be called the Lemurians. And they were in Mount Shasta and wanted my energy out here, which I've not ever quite understand why my energy is needed. But
how have you changed since you moved out there?
Well, as I said before, I was only connected like to the ETs in the sky and the stars and the planets. And here, how I've changed is I really have connected to the inner Earth beings, which are the ETs, and the on Earth beings, which would be the elementals, the fairies, the gnomes. So I've really, really connected to that. And then I used to be afraid to go in Earth. So I have learned, as I said, the shamanic journey, where I'll go to the underworld now. So I've learned a lot to be comfortable connecting to Earth where I was not at all before. So that's been a big learning curve for me.
Right. All right. Who are the ETs that are with you now? Are they all Lemurians or?
No. Actually, none of these are Lemurians. Well, maybe there's the one that put the big hand on my shoulder is somebody new. I'm asking who that is. I want to know who that big-handed person is that somebody knew. But my ones that are here are Matkai, which is an Arcturian, and the other Earth name, she has an Earth name because she said you can't pronounce her real name, is Sally, and she is it starts with a Y. I don't know the title, but she is like part deer, part human. They're just a deer descended from them, and she's aqua coloring. And then I've got my angel, her name is Gloria, that's here, and those are the big ones. And as I said, I've got this. I'm thinking this is an Arcturian that's standing behind me, who has just shown up for the first time today. Which he's the one that's been putting his hand on my shoulder, trying to calm me down. It's gonna be okay.
Well, we have about 250 people and we are.
And they're all going.
All these people want to talk to. All these people want to talk to the ETs and the angel. Yeah. And so I think this will be cool. So I'm going to let the audience know that if you have a question, please leave it in the chat. And we have some questions already. There was a guy. Someone asked me, and I'll ask you this. I had a guest a couple days ago. I don't know if you keep up with my channel. If you don't, I'm not offended, so that's totally okay with me.
Oh, you keep up with the ET ones.
Okay, so I had a guy the other day that he wanted to learn how to channel. And he learned how to channel, and he said he was channeling the Arcturians. And he said that And basically he's saying that anybody who channels, they're only channeling Arcturians, nobody else. And he said that the Arcturians are tricking all the channelers.
No, let me just check on that. No.
So,
No.
I mean, I'm just giving you what the guest said, you know. I wanted to see what that someone wanted your take on that.
Yeah, they might be only channeling the Arcturians, which would be very common. So I have people who only channel the Palladians or the Lyrans, or but no, I mean, we all can have different ones that we're channeling, and I don't channel just one. I channel several,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost like it's a collaborative thing that they're together giving me the answers. But the answer that I'm getting of that is absolutely not. It's not just the Arcturians, and the Arcturians are not known for tricking people. They're ones that are really helping us here, trying to help the humans and Earth descend.
Right.
So I consider the Arcturians extremely friendly.
All right.
Me personally, I have not run across a negative one. I'm sure there are some, but I have not run into the trickster or the negative Arcturian. And thank goodness I haven't. I've got some good protection around me that I haven't had to deal with that.
Mm-hmm. All right. One quick question for you, not for the people, the beings that you're channeling. Are you chatting with both Asturians and Lyrans? Did you say Asturians, or maybe they mistyped it? Asturias, or maybe it should have been Arcturians. Are you chatting with both Arcturians and Lyrans?
Well, I had yes, I was chatting with both of them, and I'm thinking Arcturians are definitely one of my biggest channels that I do channel. I'm very connected to them. And Lyrans, they've shown up to me, and I feel guilty about this. Until recently, I really haven't paid much attention to Lyrans. I've had a Lyran guide, but I've just not really paid them much attention until just a few weeks ago when I found out they're here. They're here to help us. They're helping the light workers, and they just showed up. So I am helping. I mean, I do channel them, and I will be paying a lot more attention to them since they're here, the Lyrans. But the Arcturians, I channel the Arcturians. The gray hybrids, those are the ones I channel a lot. And I work with the gray hybrids a lot. And so, yeah, I channel Arcturians, Lyrans. I even channel a reptilian, the friendly ones. I've met some really nice reptilians. And as I said, I mean, I do come across negative entities, but it's usually when I'm trying to help somebody else out, getting rid of them. But generally, I'm being pretty protective. They're letting me protect me so I can do my work and help others.
All right. So let's start. We'll see if any of the beings will be willing to answer this. And it's a great time to ask because we're at the beginning of the year. Do they foresee any kind of big contact or disclosure or anything of ETs in 2024?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I want to talk about this.
Why not? It's too scary.
No, it's not scary. There's just I've got a lot of questions because I got a lot of information just a couple of days ago about how disclosure has changed. Now, I was originally on the disclosure committee meeting on the ET ship on the Gray Hybrid, and the guy that they had chosen was going to be the first one, and it was going to be in the year 2024. Just 2 days ago, and they told me that time this information could change. Just 2 days ago, I'm not going to name names. That's what I won't do. What I'm going to say is that the reveal they're thinking is going to happen, what they're telling me is going to happen, which I had no idea was going to be, it's a human who's going to reveal that they're an ET. And that's how our disclosure is going to start.
So a human, are you saying some human on the earth is going to reveal they're an ET? Is this a celebrity?
I'm not going to say who it is. I'm definitely not going in that direction.
You know who it is?
I think I know who it is, but we're not going in that direction because I don't have any confirmation, and I don't want to put it out there in public yet. I've got to really, I've been I don't think it's going to be a good disclosure when this person comes out and says who he is. So I think it's going to be almost like I don't know how to say it, a negative thing that happens before the positive comes in. And I think because he will force the hands of the good ETs that are coming, I don't think this person who reveals himself has nefarious reasons for doing it. And I'm getting a humongous yes on this, but
Wow.
I'm not going to say who it is. As I said, I just got this information a couple of days ago, not real comfortable with it, and I'm especially not comfortable sharing all of that yet, that information out there yet. Kind of, I might want to sit back and wait to see what happens, because if I put it out there, everybody's going to go, all right, we're waiting for this. When is this going to happen?
Right.
Okay. I'll be put on the spotlight.
It'll be too much pressure for you then.
It's going to be too much pressure for me.
Well, I've been saying this many times during the live stream. What can I do? And maybe the ETs I hope are listening, to get an ET to become physical and be my guest.
You asked me that same question last time.
Oh, well, see, I'm still asking.
Do you remember you don't remember the answer, do you?
No.
You've already had one on the show.
I've already had one. Really?
Yes.
Oh,
And that was my
wow.
answer last time. Is you've already had. I said, well, I think last time I said, what makes you think you haven't already had one? And you sat back. And this time now I'm asking, they're saying you have already had one. You have had an ET. They just didn't reveal who they were.
I wish they would at least reveal it to me privately.
Oh, shoot. Of course.
That would be amazing. I'll keep it a secret if they would contact me, let me know privately.
If that happened, Jeff, you might be putting yourself in jeopardy.
Really?
Yeah.
Because
so
I thought about that recently. As like, what if a real ET did come on the show and was here live? Then, maybe people in high places might come over to my house and start asking me questions like, why is this person on your show?
Exactly. I would tread lightly on those kind of things. You can wish that, but you've already had it. They just didn't reveal themselves. Let me see. I think they were protecting you. That's why they didn't reveal it. They were protecting themselves and you. Yeah, and that's exactly what it was.
Mm.
So be careful what you wish for.
Wow. I don't know. All right. Well, let me see. Let me pick up some questions here. The first one is, what dimensions are the Lyrans? I guess, what dimensions are they in, or what dimension?
I immediately want to say fifth, because we deal with the fifth most. But let me see. They're telling me fifth and seventh.
Fifth and seventh.
And ninth.
And ninth. I guess when you get up to the upper dimensions, you can just kind of move around from 5 to 7 and 9, whatever you want.
Yeah, they're saying they have to come down to the fifth dimension to deal with us.
That's about as low as they'll go.
That's about
They won't even go down to the third dimension.
I mean, it's like the tall whites. They have to use the gray androids, because they can't come down to the third dimension when they show up and they're wanting to do some healing on people. They'll send in the short gray hybrids and take them up to the spaceship. They'll see, a lot of them will see them in their bedroom. Like, they'll go, there were 2 small grays and this kind of fuzzy white tall thing. And I don't know what happened. And they're going, oh, that was great. That was a healing. They took you in the spaceship and did some healing. So be happy when you see them in your bedroom.
All right, let me get to the next question here. Are we ruining our planet to the point of no return?
I don't think so. We are ruining the planet, but there is a return. Let me check on that. Yeah, there's the return. They're not going to let us do but so much before it's stopped. And we're recognizing, we're turning around. In fact, I think I did a whole show on this on my channel about 2 years ago, where they were telling me that the United States will be the leaders within 10 years of conservatism of Earth. And so it's probably about 8 more years that everything will be really turned around, and the U.S. will be the leaders and all that, which was exciting. And I was channeling that a few years ago, but they're saying yes again, that is true, that it's going to take us probably another 8 years, and we'll be turning everything around. We'll be the U.S. will be the leaders and all that.
Cool. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right.
You're wondering who our leader will be at that time.
Yeah,
To be in charge of that.
maybe me. I'm just
There you
kidding.
go. Jeff for president. Jeff
There
for
we go.
president.
All right, here's the next one. How are aliens related to AI?
Oh, I don't know that they're related at all. Let me see. That's a good question, though.
It is.
Are aliens that? Oh, well, they are. They are related to the AI.
In what way?
I am not the technical person. I'm more medical, and I can only go by my experience with it. But when you do go into a spaceship, and when I was learning how to fly a spaceship, in fact, that's the title of my book that I'm writing, is how I've learned to fly a spaceship.
Cool.
When you connect with the spaceship, it's I don't know if it's exactly AI as much as energy, that you're actually connected with the spaceship. You don't have a steering wheel, you don't have anything. Your mind is the thing that's controlling everything. And so you have to learn how to control your mind to fly a spaceship, because you can think humans, I used to say all the time when I was on the spaceship, you realize I'm human. We get scattered. Our brain goes all over the place. And so I don't know exactly. I think they're telling me that that's the stepping stone from AI to that. Yeah, that's some kind of stepping stone. So they do have AI, but there's this almost like living AI is kind of what I'm getting, is living AI, where you're actually using your energy, your telepathy sources, and they're telling me physical. It's almost like you're physically joined with it, but they're not controlling you. You're controlling it. That's the big thing. They're not controlling you. You're controlling it. That's the big message.
Here's the next one. Do the ETs know if there is another planet similar to Earth where humans live in the third dimension so we could see them? If so, is it possible for us to meet them?
And the answer is yes. There's several planets that has 3D humans in it. And actually, our leaders or higher ups already know about them. And I'm getting that there's 2 more planets in our solar system that humans inhabit.
In our solar system?
And they don't look exactly like us, but they look so similar that they could pass as us. There's 2 in our solar system.
I would assume that would have to be Mars and I don't know what else. A moon, perhaps?
Mars.
Venus?
Mars is definitely. Venus is what I'm thinking it is. Mars, Venus. Is it Saturn? Mars, Venus, Saturn. Wait a minute. I'm getting a yes on all this, so hold on just a minute. I know it's definitely Mars, because I've dealt with some humans that have come from Mars. So I definitely know Mars.
You've dealt with humans here on the planet or in meditation?
On rescue missions, when you're talking about I rescue ETs, I've also rescued humans too. And they're coming from Mars, and they get caught up in time travel. And that's a lot of what's going on with these different planets and things that we don't see. It takes some time traveling to get to them, which we have that ability to do. It's just that we don't know about it. But it's definitely Mars, and I'm thinking Saturn is a big trade center. Let me see. Saturn's a big trade center. Yeah, Saturn's a big trade center, and it's because of the rings around it that they can see it, and everybody knows where to go. So I think humans are inhabiting. I'm thinking it's a lot more than humans there, though. But Mars and Saturn and Venus, I know I've seen humans on there, but they don't quite look like us. They look like they are super white, super white, like sheet of paper white.
Is there a TV show or a movie that is pretty realistic of what's really going on in the cosmos here that they could point us to?
Well, whenever I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I've always thought, oh, how creative they are. Anyway, after all this started happening to me, I went, Oh my gosh, they just channeled all that information and put it in the movies. So a lot of that stuff, a lot. In fact, probably the spaceship that I'm on, the one that's most like is that first, oh, what's that? It's a Star Trek one, the one with Picard in it.
I mean, the
That
Enterprise?
next generation, is that the
Hmm.
one?
Right.
The spaceship that I've worked on is most like that. The spaceship looks very similar to that one, or the interior does, and there's a lot of similarities there. So when all this started happening to me, I'm going, those people aren't as creative as I thought. They're channeling all this information and putting it into a movie. So
Mm.
yeah, a lot of that. I'm sure all these guys are channeling it.
All right, let me get to the next question here. Now that we are in the age of Aquarius, with UTO, with what or where is it?
It's UFO.
I'm not, I guess it's maybe with UFO. Now that we are in the age of Aquarius with UFOs, what or where is AI headed? How about money exchanges and free energy?
Actually, I'm not sure about that, but all that is going to change. The AI, as I said, that is a phase that we're going to go through, and we're going to figure out how to, as what they just said, is we will be the ones controlling it instead of controlling us. But we do have a big learning curve to go through with AI. But let me see about the free energy, if that's going to come anytime soon. No, that's not coming anytime soon. I'm going to see if it's coming within the 10 years. It'll be, I think it's going to be that part of that initiative of the conservative, whatever word, they're calling it conservative,
Like conservation? Is that what you're talking about?
conservation.
Conservationism, something like that?
Yeah, that's the term anyway. That they're going to say that Earth will be in charge, and that'll be part of that free energy. But as I said, when I was channeling that information, that was 2 years ago, and now it's probably, I guess, 8 years in the future, and that U.S. will be heading all in charge of all that. But so we've got another good 8 to 10 years before we'll be seeing that. So free energy.
Do you think that they will have, how do I want to say this? But will they have anything that will help us live longer? Life extension, medication, or treatments, so we'll all live to 200 or 300 years.
Yeah, it's all that's going to be coming. As soon as we start cleaning up the planet, we're going to start living longer, because we don't have all the toxins that are, targeting our bodies right now. So it's all going to be hand in hand. Clean up Earth, clean up the climate, clean up the people, and it's just all going to go hand in hand. That right now we're just being exposed to so much toxicity that, just even in the air and earth, that that's affecting our health.
All right, let me get to the next question here. What kind of meditation do you practice?
Oh my gosh, I am the most simple meditation person. In fact, I'm getting ready to seek out somebody to help me to boost my meditation up. I don't do any kind of real practice, except for that I do meditate every day, and at least 20 minutes. Most of the time it's for an hour, and I don't have any specific. I usually listen to music, like candles, and do any kind of things that distract me, but I don't do any specific meditation. And I tell people, when I'm asking them to meditate, I said meditation looks different for everybody. It can be out walking, it can be out driving your car, it can be out gardening. It's whatever your mind just goes away, and it doesn't have to. You don't have to look like a guru sitting with your legs crossed to meditate. It does look different for everybody, and you just need to find a way for your meditation. For me, it's easiest to go out into nature and sit and let my mind go. That's the easiest meditation. Of course, there's so much snow on the ground, which is disappearing now, which so much snow on the ground. I can't do that right now. But anyway, so I don't have any specific meditation practice, but it did change my life. And when I started meeting ETs, I was only doing 20 to 30 minute guided meditations from somebody just to pick out on YouTube.
If any of us wants to meet an ET, how do we do that?
Raise your vibration and ask.
What's the best way to raise our vibration?
Well, for me, people, if they're struggling, well, first you need to find out why you're struggling. If there's something that's struggling in your life, to kind of get rid of that and raise your vibration. But a good way to do is do a grateful list every day. I do that before I start meditating, as I write down everything I'm grateful for. That's the easiest way to raise your vibration. And I'm not talking about just say, oh, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that. It's literally physically write it down. There's something to do with writing it that makes a difference. And doing things special, like making your special area before you meditate, or if you're going on your walk, try to think about what you're wanting to really focus on. And think, did I answer your question, Jeff? I've forgotten your question.
I think so. Just like how to raise our vibration.
Oh yeah, how goes right? Yeah. And nature. I mean, for me, getting out in nature is big way of raising my vibration. I immediately, if I can get out among the trees and the birds and the flowers and everything, my vibration goes way up. And I get very connected when I'm driving too. If I go on a trip, it's almost like I am this source where they're going, okay, we got you now. Here comes all the information. They keep bombarding me with information, and I think it's going on the road, listening to the sound of the tires hitting the pavement. And I think it's almost like a drumming sound. And I think that makes my vibration go higher. And of course, when I tell people that, they panic, thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to be on the road with her when that's happening. But we do go in kind of a zone when we're driving, especially on a trip on the highway.
The next question is, can humans time travel?
Yes. I'm not sure how to tell you how you can time travel, but humans can time travel. And we all do time travel. A lot of us do when we're sleeping. And we all do have like parallel lives or future lives, past lives that we actually go visit too. So yes, we do. Humans can time travel.
Why would somebody rescue a demon? Or why would you rescue a demon? That's the question.
I haven't. Okay, well, that is a good question, and I never had that question before. But when I rescue a demon, and usually I don't call it rescuing a demon. Usually, I'm rescuing positive entities. But when I do capture a negative entity or a demon, I'm capturing them to give them a choice to go up to the next level. They have a choice whether they want to stay in that level or if they want to ascend to a different level. And usually I'll hand them over to a master when they make the decision on how they're going to handle them from there. When I capture one of those, and actually I go and capture one of those, or I'm used to. I don't do as much of that now as I'm used to, but the whole purpose is them to give them an option and try to educate them and try to bring them over to a positive side. So that's how we handle negative entities or demons.
All right. How exactly do you rescue aliens?
Well, that's a good question too. And I actually my whole YouTube channel on my videos in the beginning talk about all my rescue missions. Actually, I've learned how to fly a spaceship. I have a team that we would go out and we go out to these Area 51s where they have captured these ETs and that they were sick and dying. So we go in and we use a lot of energy work. Usually a good examples would be the Arcturians. When they're captured, they need a special cream on their body to breathe on Earth. So when they get captured, they run out of that cream, and we don't have that kind of cream on Earth. So when I go in, I'll get some cream. We'll get them out of there and get some cream on them. I'm usually on the medical side. I have gone into these facilities to help get them out, but usually I'm on the medical side in the spaceship waiting for the sick ET to come to me. Also, the grays or the gray hybrids, they're usually have trouble digesting the food that's here. So they're usually starving. So when I get them, they're usually needing food. But I mean, there's a lot of different things that happen, but those are probably two of the most common things that we have to go in there to save their lives. So we can get the Arcturians some cream on their bodies and the grays some food that they can digest.
All right, somebody wants to know if they can time travel and get the lottery numbers.
I don't know.
Come back and win.
That's a great question. I don't know about that. My mindset is always helping people. So I've never done any kind of trying to time travel for my own personal gain. So let me see what they say about that. Can they time travel to get the lottery ticket? And I'm getting yes, you can. I just never have. I've never, as I said, I've always been under, trying to help others. I've never thought about doing something that was just for myself. And I'm not sure I really even want to go down that avenue of going and get a lottery ticket and doing those kind of things. I just think that would open up a whole nother world of issues and problems. But that's my personal opinion. So anyway, but the answer is yes, you can do that.
All right. That's a good question. Generally with your medical care, how are you trained to, work on these ETs? And also, for example, how do you get the cream?
Well, as I said, my my very first spaceship that I worked on was called the oh gosh, I forgot the name of it. Anyway, I'll think about it. I'll think of it in a minute. But anyway, it was a gray hybrid, or it's a hybrid ship. It was all mixtures of ETs. It wasn't just one like an Arcturian or reptilian or gray. It was a mixture. It was actually a hospital spaceship. They don't call it a hospital, but that's what it would be like. Like it has trauma centers, these kind of things, has operating rooms. So I was working out of that. So anytime I needed the cream, I had an assistant that is actually a gray hybrid assistant called Clarice. She would come down and bring me the cream, and I would be able to use it almost like, she was just my assistant. She would come down and give me the stuff that I need. And they do transport almost like a transporter, almost like, you have beam me up, Scotty, or beam me down. They do transport like that. So that's how she comes and brings me the equipment or whatever I need. And sometimes she'll stay and actually assist me with whatever trauma is coming in.
All right. Is there a connection between shadow beings, poltergeists, and the ETs? And if so, how?
Oh, well, that's like a lot of questions in one.
It's loaded.
Yes. So I consider the shadow people as shadow people that are kind of lost. I don't know that they're connected to the ETs. Let me see if they're connected to the ETs. No, they're not. The ETs and the shadow people are not connected. And what was the other one? The poltergeist. I've never asked about the poltergeist. Let's see about the poltergeist. No, the ETs are not connected to them, the shadow people or the poltergeists. They're more earthbound beings. They're earthbound beings. That's what that's what they're telling me. They're earthbound beings.
Are the locals that live in Mount Shasta, like most of them, really into UFOs and this kind of paranormal stuff, or is that only a few people that live there?
Well, it's a lot of people, and it's more accepted. And I have met quite a few people who are not into this at all, and who are the locals who have been raised here, born here. But when I talk about things that I do and things that I'm connected with, that doesn't faze them at all. Like if I was in South Carolina and told somebody what I did, I'd be locked up. I'd have somebody knocking on my door. But here, in fact, I'm teaching a girl right now who is from here, born here. I am now teaching her some things that she has not been receptive to it before we met. And so she's now starting to learn, and I'm just shocked that she's extremely connected, and I'm shocked she hasn't discovered all her gifts and talents, but she's on that path now.
All right. Well, let me see how many. I only got a little time left. I've got 2 more questions that I've got to get in. Do you know about any? Well, I don't want to get into that. I just can't for that one. I really like to know if the Earth is flat or not.
If the Earth is flat, I've never seen it flat. When I go out there and look, because it's Earth flat. No. In fact, the images I've gotten of Earth, I don't see that it's exactly round like we have an image of it. It's almost like I look at it and it has a belt on. The equator's a belt. It's kind of how I see it, and I'm getting the big yes on that. So it's almost like egg shaped with a belt around it, but we see it as, and I think the reason I see this belt is because I think we're expanding and contracting. And I
Mhm.
think so when I was seeing it contracting, it's kind of like a belt around the earth. And so it's not flat, it is round, considerably round, or to me, egg shaped with a belt around it.
I'm curious about this. My son and I were talking about the weather shifting or changing, and he did a search online and found out that the summers are getting longer and the rest of the seasons are getting shorter.
Well,
I wonder if they
I,
can tell us why.
I, okay, that's a, excuse me, that's a hard question to answer. Hold on, and it's also hard for me to interpret what they're saying sometimes. But what I'm getting is this. Oh, okay, this is it. This is just the natural path of Earth. It has done this many times before, and yes, the summers are getting longer. The Earth is getting warmer, and this is our cyclic adventure. Is what they're saying. This is a cyclic adventure of Earth.
All right. All right, well, I'm going to have to run pretty soon, but before I do, I want to let everybody know how to find out more about what you're up to. So, what is your website and your YouTube channel?
Well, my YouTube channel is Dr. Gail Skywalking with Moon, and that's Skywalking with Moon.
Hmm.
And my website is Dr. Gail Starseed Healer. And so those are my two things. So, but the best place is to come to my YouTube channel. We have shows and we do things like this where you can ask me questions. And then also I do a healing show where I have a special ET that does healings. And um, we do that show probably either once every 2 weeks or once a month where people could come in and bring in their questions. Because I do have a medical background, a chiropractic background, and an energy background. So we can do some healings and answer questions there too.
All right.
And that's called the Slayers Healing Center is the name of that show.
All right, great. Well, Gail, it was great having you back. You are my first guest of my new live stream format. So thank you so much for being my guest. And as soon as you get some footage of some UFOs, contact me because let's get you back on and take a look at it.
I don't think that will happen, Jeff.
Oh, you
I,
don't?
I don't think I just because I just seen all of it, so I don't know that I'll bring in somebody else who's getting videos of that. But
All right. Well, maybe you get your assistant to take some.
yeah, but I do appreciate you having me on, and I'm honored to be the first.
Yeah. All right, Gail. Well, thanks again. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you back when hopefully soon.
Okay, all right, sounds great. Thanks, Jeff. All
Bye
right,
bye.
bye bye, everybody. Thanks for the great questions.
And there's a big round of applause for Dr. Gail. You don't hear it, but it's on there.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, that was cool. That was Dr. Gail. And up next we have Greg Palma. And I don't have his notes in front of me. I should have prepared a little more and put some notes together for him. But I believe he was an opera singer that became someone that would sing for healing or something like that. So we're going to bring him in real quick. And just before we do, I want to let you know that I have tomorrow a near-death experience guest that had his NDE. I think it was from a car crash. He met these beings. And then it's amazing, this guy. He got involved with he got involved in Ekankar. He met Swami somebody, I can't remember, I don't have it right in front of me, and became a monk for a while. And Mike Barella, thank you so much for that super thanks. I really appreciate it. And at some point he was meditating and left his body and went on a UFO and saw the same beings that he saw, or the same type of beings that he saw during his NDE. But this is like, I don't know, 10 years later or something. So I hope you guys will really enjoy it. The guy has some really interesting things that have happened to him, and that'll be tomorrow night. And also, real quickly, We do have other YouTube channels below. I'm going to start working on those eventually. I'm on Facebook. You're welcome to friend me. I accept friends till I have 5,000 friends. And you'll see my last name is Reynolds. Mara is my beloved wife. My last name's not Mara. So you can feel free to friend me there. And then we have a JeffMara podcast Facebook page. And the Discord, you have to connect with me personally to get the code for the Discord. All right, so let's bring Greg in. And see how this is going to work out. Greg, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
I can. All right, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you. Now, I don't know if I did service introducing you to everybody, so maybe you could start with telling everybody about your background.
Yes, yeah, you and I are just brand new friends. Aren't
Yeah, we haven't even met. This is pretty amazing. This is kind of like what you got. Oops. This
And
is
you're
kind
in the Midwest, I take it.
I'm in the Texas. I don't know if you call
You're
that
in
the
Texas.
what was South Midwest,
South Midwest.
South Texas. I'll put it that way. Where are you
South
based out
Texas.
of?
And I'm in Southeast Iowa.
Southeast Iowa. Wow. You know, there's
Yeah.
that I've had a guest. You probably know there's the place somewhere in Iowa. I can't remember the town where the Maharishi has the university there. You're there? What's the name of that town?
Fairfield, Iowa.
Fairfield, Iowa. That's
Yes.
awesome. I've had one guest from there, a near-death
Oh,
experiencer.
beautiful.
Yeah, and it sounded really cool. And I thought at one point, my audience would probably know this. I was considering moving out of Texas, and I thought maybe that would be a pretty cool place to live.
It is quite, and it attracts all kinds of people. I mean, the university itself has students from uh, over 50 countries.
Hmm.
And it's consciousness-based education. You know, it talks about consciousness as the field of all possibilities,
Yeah.
and expanding, not just filling up your container of your brain, but expanding it to enlightenment. I mean, that's how I got my start, and I can probably start from there.
Sure.
So my earliest experiences were with my mother. Um, and she was she was Baptist, I guess, before she married my father, who was Catholic. So she had to convert. So she was pretty much very open-minded in terms of religion, and not in the tight way of very religious constructs. She would believe very strongly and watched many programs with faith healers. So I grew up with that because I would watch them with her, and I believed, although I didn't envision myself as a healer, but that certainly kind of gave me some glimpses as to where I was going. So that was my very earliest experience, and then my experience with spirituality, it grew outside of the constructs of Catholicism and all that, and I expanded, and I was very much interested in Eastern, and to the point where I started meditation at 17, and it was transcendental meditation, and for me, it was the best thing I've done. From there, I continued to go on to more advanced courses. I got a degree, a science degree at Maharishi European Research University in Vegas, Switzerland, as consciousness is the field of all possibilities. Um, I spent time with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and he really opened up my heart and really opened up consciousness, and it was the foundation for um, my healing work, which I discovered many years after I um, started singing. And I discovered singing very late in my life. At the age of 30, someone came to me and said, "You know, you have a very nice voice. You should study with so and so." And I did. I started studying with her. And then I got another teacher. And then I moved to Iowa, and I continued for 5 years with Albert Gammon at the University of Iowa. So my voice was improving as a lyric baritone. I actually started out as a bass, and I did many small roles so I was a semi-professional opera singer, mostly in the Washington D.C. area. It wasn't until about around 2006 where I just started to appreciate the voice I had. Prior to that, it was like, I wish I had a voice like Luciano Pavarotti. My mother always argued that mine was better than Luciano Pavarotti. And I never believed her, because what mother wouldn't say that to her child? But it was around 2006 where I started really appreciating what was given to me as a gift. And that's when the whole thing started opening up for me. And it was around 2011 where I went to a healer who came to Fairfield to, there's a lot of people interested in healing, spiritual healers at that time.
Right.
My wife came with me to the session with his name was Denny Unger. He's from around the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. And she said, you have to sing for Denny. So we had my session. He lies you on the table, and then he's clairvoyant and clairaudient, and he walked around the table and he worked on certain areas of my body. And I was completely relaxed, completely transcended and unbounded. And then all of a sudden I heard this loud commotion that he and his assistant that he was working with, a local woman, they left the room and they went out. And it was like, I was wondering what was wrong. Maybe there was something wrong with me and they had to have a little powwow or something. Well, they came back in and they said, you can come out now. So I took a few minutes to come out from the deep experience of this wonderful healing session with Denny. And Denny was looking down at me like, so how was it? And I said, well, I gave him some of my experiences. And he had this funny look on his face. He said, well, okay, let me tell you what went on. He said, I was told that you have more of a gift than just your operatic abilities, that you have the ability to bring in the singing spheres from the celestial realm. He says, you're like a manipulator of the singing spheres of the celestial realm. And you can do this. And what we want to do is set you up and with a group of people that would be very much open-minded people, and that would help me come out and for the first time do a healing. And he says, particularly what the healing would be, he says, in this community, what the sense is that they got was, we need to activate the pineal gland of these people that will be coming to you. And says, you have that ability. And I said, oh, well, how do I do that? He said, well, you just go there and you will be guided. And so for me as a performer, it's like, well, I'm going to give a concert. I rehearse with my rehearsal. I know the music, forwards and backwards. But no, you don't rehearse. There's no accompaniment. You just start and it'll go.
Let me stop.
So that's what I did.
Let me stop you for one moment. I should have answered you earlier. It's really not possible. You had sent me some pictures of the spheres, and it would be, I don't even know if I could put them up. So I'm willing to share the screen with you if you want to put them up at some point.
I don't think I have.
If you have them on your computer. And also when we get in, if we talk about healing at all, can you please not go into any specifics about what you are healing?
Can I please not go into
any specifics, things that you are healing?
No. I
can probably tell you some more later, but like I said, if you're talking about healing, just try not to go into any specific things.
It's a YouTube thing. Yes, I understand. No, I generally don't. And I
Okay.
generally don't ask people, you know, what do you need?
Right.
Because the healing that, is it all right to use the word healing?
Yeah.
Okay. The healing comes from the heart.
Right.
My central focus is the heart. And it's through the heart that we bring this unconditional love from the creator to a person. And it's through that that the person heals themselves.
Right.
So it's like an activation. It's a stimulation, like a laser, this stimulated emission of light amplification through stimulated emission. You have something that sets it up, and then it goes. And that's what the healer does, really. It's
Hmm.
really, you heal yourself, and
Hmm.
you know
Hmm.
what the areas are that you need to focus on.
Right.
And the healer doesn't need to go into those sort of things. Although I do delineate the experiences on my website,
Right.
of people's experiences.
Would you be willing to sing for us?
Well, yes, of course.
Great. All right. I don't know if we want to get to that yet, but oh, people are already asking in the chat. They're wanting to. They're all wanting to, you to sing.
Yes, yes. Well, is there any other background information you want to anyway, I had this experience
Hmm.
with the group. Their experiences were marvelous. Many of them were very clairvoyant and
Hmm.
clairaudient, and they would see what was going on. Um, and some of them would see these spheres, and the two spheres. Unfortunately, I don't have it on this computer. It's on a third computer downstairs, and I could have screen shared. I didn't
Right.
get it, and
That's
I was
okay.
hoping that you could. But
That's okay. Well, basically, I mean, well, if they want to, do you have a website or a Facebook page that you can post the pictures and people can go see them later?
yes, yes, they are on. One of those pictures is on my singingspheres.net.
All right, there you go. Or you can, if you're there with us, you can just open up another window and open up singingspheres.net, and then you'll have us and the spheres there.
Yeah, that's one of the pictures.
And
The,
and
the,
and so those spheres, those are energy spheres that you're
well,
creating with your voice, or what are those?
those are really they're really the devatas, the beings, the angels.
So those are the
Angels,
beings that are coming.
it's like their little spaceship.
But they're
They
not, they're
travel in
bigger
those.
than orbs though to me.
Those, yes, of course. The thing is, little tiny orbs are usually smaller beings. They could be your relatives. They show up as small.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger they are, the more evolved they are, the
Wow.
huger they are. And so that that marvelous picture that this one woman um, took, we were at this place called the Crop Circle Gallery in Fairfield,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a place that talked about crop circles. And
Mm-hmm.
I know the woman who owned the place, and she had me sing there every week. And this one woman would ask permission and find out and then take a picture. And she got these two 7-foot diameter spheres. They were intersecting in a Vesica Pisces, which creates that sacred geometry of all kinds of amazing sacred geometry. And it's divine feminine is what it is. And that was a really magical time that she got those spheres.
Hmm.
Those unfortunately are not on my website, but somehow we'll put them up there soon.
So do the spheres or the beings come after you start singing, or do you meditate first and bring them in and then start singing?
Well, at first it would be I would just I usually close my eyes when I sing, and they just come. They come and they are there, and the I move them and then move the energy with my hands. A lot of energy coming off the hands. They come. And then there's times where people have taken pictures of me, and the spheres um, are already there, and I'm not even singing. They're just in a garden somewhere. That happened to me in Pittsburgh when I was there. Someone had an infrared camera,
Hmm.
and she took a picture, and that's on my website. You can see it, that there's this large sphere that's just encircling me, and I'm just there with my eyes open, just getting my picture taken in the back garden. So they
Hmm.
come and they bring and make the connection between the divine and me and them. It's all direct from the divine through my heart out. And they bring that energy.
Will we be getting any effect witnessing this through the computer, or or at least would it be less than being face to face with you or in the same room with you?
Well, since COVID, I've been doing it on Facebook. I started out on Facebook,
Hmm.
and then I got up to YouTube, and so I do on YouTube singings. It's just YouTube/singing spheres,
Hmm.
um, and I've put up almost 200 videos, two a
That's great.
week, and the experiences are wonderful. It really doesn't matter. In fact, um, I've even before that, I have a service where people can send me their request, and I make in my studio right here, I make a custom or a personalized healing song. And I did that. The first one I did was I don't know if I can say it. Someone
Maybe not.
someone fell off a mountain
Hmm.
and they needed help.
Right.
And I sent them a song, and I don't know if I can say it, but can I say it?
I prefer that you didn't, because if you say something that
Okay.
I may have to go back and edit this,
Okay. Very good.
because
Okay.
there's I'll have to talk to you about it later. I should have mentioned something earlier,
All right.
but
That's fine. I don't think I've said anything inappropriate at this point.
no, I don't think so.
Okay. Good. Well, we'll keep it that way. I can tell you. I can tell you later, and I'm sure all your listeners are very curious. But you can go to my website and read it.
Mhm.
Um, it's the first experience that's at the bottom of the page. So, and I discovered that it works through media. I sent this thing through the internet to Austria, and they got it on their little phone and they played it. And I did that actually twice for two different people,
Cool.
because one person heard from another person. They both had the same kind of situation. And it does work. It works on the telephone. It works on Facebook and YouTube. And it works live, because there's no distance in the spiritual realm. It's the distance is only here on earth. In fact, our earth distance 100 years ago was a lot more than it is now. I mean, we're so instantaneous. So the same thing, it carries over. It's not like I'm just bringing in the spheres here, but the spheres are going there, and they do their work, and they bring the message. That's what the definition of an angel is a messenger from Creator.
Hmm.
And so you will feel it, and the effect will be there.
All right. Well, in my experience, in order for someone to do anything musical on YouTube, even singing, you have to set your Zoom settings to performance. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah,
Do you
my
have
Zoom,
your set to that?
I have it set the best I can set, because this version of Zoom that I have is it's it's not a it's a Ubuntu. So the Ubuntu kind of lags behind the Windows. They don't. But I've taken off all of the automatic volume settings and everything. So I think it'll be all right.
All right.
If,
Well, I'll stop you if it is, but I've had guests before that tried to do music, and without the, it's real simple. You just go to your audio settings and put on performance. It's real simple, but
Yeah, there
it,
is
it
no thing called performance
um,
on mine. Let me see, video
are you
settings.
on a PC or Mac?
I'm on a PC
Okay.
and I go to
And
audio.
you go to that audio settings, and
Yeah,
I guess everybody else can see it here too. Um, where is that? Live performance audio. There's one down there, live performance audio.
yeah. No, I don't have that. Uh, I have,
Um, Zoom background for noise removal. You may want to take that off.
yeah,
Personalized audio. Oh,
I
there's one.
know.
It's called Original Sounds for Musicians. Maybe that's
Right.
it.
That is not on this version,
Oh,
unfortunately. But I do this. I
through
use
Zoom,
it.
and you usually don't have a problem doing it
I
through
haven't.
Zoom?
I have
Okay, then it'll
a
probably be
weekly
fine.
thing. You'll know from the very first tone if there's a problem.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove myself from video and put you up front center stage, and I will
Okay.
let you sing until you are done.
Okay.
However long that may be, I don't know how long you're going to go for.
I mean,
Again,
I could go.
like I said,
Uh,
we just met. I mean, I have not even, for everybody in the audience, this is the first time I've seen Greg face to face. I mean, we shared a couple emails, and I said, "Would you like to come Saturday night?" And come at 8, and that's about it. And here he is. So we haven't. This is completely spontaneous, and so here we go.
yeah. Well, let me
It's
do before you go away.
mm-hmm.
Let me just do one tone,
Okay.
and you can listen and see if it's sounding all right.
All right. Works for me. That's great. I felt like I could already feel something. It worked perfect.
Okay, good.
All right, are you ready? Like I said,
I
I'm
am.
going to disappear. I'll let you take over, and then when you're done, we will come back and talk about it.
Yes, let me make a suggestion to
Mm-hmm.
everybody that you sit with your feet flat on the floor. Do not cross hands or legs, and put your palms on your thighs facing up. This is a way to receive the energy more easily. A lot of healers use this method, and this was the method that I learned about and I incorporated, and I found it very effective.
Should we have our eyes closed?
Eyes closed are excellent.
And
Um,
is this something that, sometimes people come and do live meditations, and I have to say this, that is, if you're driving a car, don't participate. Wait till you
Absolutely.
get home and then watch the video. Or if you're handling heavy machinery, also don't be doing that. Just
Yes,
wait till you are finished or in a safe place, and then
absolutely.
check and then watch it again. 1 second, someone left me something. Is it safe for us to hear the music if we have metal in our body? Some
Yes.
vibrations like singing bowls are discouraged.
Um, no, I haven't had any problems, although I'm not a doctor,
Mhm.
and um, so I can't give you advice in that as a medical person. So if something's uncomfortable, then just turn it off. I mean, you'll know um, fairly quickly, but um, everything is very gentle coming from my voice. Um, it is no different than listening to a good singer singing a beautiful song a cappella.
Mhm.
Although it may not have the same type of melody, it may just be tones
Right.
from you. But yeah,
All right. Well, I'm gonna
okay, Jeff.
I'm gonna disappear. I'll be here though, and
Okay,
we will see you back soon.
okay. Oh, Om. 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 Ima umaram, uram, uram, uram. Him. 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 Take a moment or two to open your eyes.
Thank you, Greg. That was fantastic. That's cool. You know, you are right. You do have a very gentle voice. And I felt like, at least for me, I interpreted it as you're singing as something shamanic or Native American. I felt like that for me, at least.
Yeah. Sometimes those energies do come through. Um, and sometimes they're from different realms, from different places in the universe. They're all different healing energies that come through in these from these spheres, and they can take on many different forms, and different people and different groups, they pull out different things, and sometimes it'll be a long, long time before I hear this more shamanic type singing, and then other times they just come out, and it's very clear that what's happening when they do, and it's wonderful to connect with the ancients.
Um, when you were singing, was it completely spontaneous for you? Or, I mean, were you just kind of going wherever you felt to go? Or did you have some kind of melody that you
Oh, no
know?
melody. No, no, it just goes.
You were just
Sometimes it's just
improvising, yes.
yeah, it's it's even less like jazz, where jazz actually has a tonal center. You know,
Hmm.
you're going to start out in B flat, and you can end in B flat. And I may start, you know, on a B flat, but end in a, you know, an A sharp. I mean, an A flat. Um, so I don't. It's no. There's no tonal center. There's no. Um, you know, I don't use a piano to, you know, to get a pitch. Um, the pitches are there, and because I have the training in my voice, I've developed my voice there. The overtones are extremely rich, and so you're hitting all the overtones of all the frequencies that are necessary to hear, and then there are the ones that you can't hear, that, or at least some people can't hear. Many people can hear the overtones, and they say often sounds like Tibetan singing, where you can hear several voices at the same time.
Your vibrato was terrific as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, people are all leaving great comments. I think it would be awesome, and you may do this already since you record, but I'd love to hear your voice with a little bit of reverb on it.
Oh yes, I do that when I make the recordings.
Hmm. And some delay. Probably even delay would be really cool too if you added that.
Yes,
It
it
would be
is.
really neat.
What I do and how I distinguish between the the healing songs that I have on YouTube is, it would be more like this. It would, you know, just a single tone. But what I've recently gotten the encouragement from my team, my spiritual team, is to make layers. So multi-track.
Mm.
You know, it's nothing. If you know what they do, it's the same as they do in the industry. You lay one track down, and then the same artist goes in and adds an accompaniment and a various accompaniment and a bass line and all that, and you just go back over and over and over. And I start to do that, but what happens? It's not just the different layers, but you getting increased number of healing energies that are coming through in those different layers, and they all blend together. So it makes it even more powerful than a single layered. Plus, I usually add the reverb. I have a pretty good system here I use for recording, and I have an excellent microphone,
Hmm.
and so it's, you know, CD quality, and I make these, and I sell them because people call in for a particular song for whatever they want.
Right. And for those of you that don't know, reverb kind of gives you that sound like when you're in the bathroom. It's not really like an
Yes.
echo, but it's like the sound bouncing off the walls,
Yes.
which it makes
And
your
everybody sounds better in the shower
right.
than they do singing in a closet.
Right. Exactly. But I guess if you do go multi-track, then you're going to probably have to put some kind of droning note. Because if you're not in same pitches and keys, it may kind of become almost distracting. You know what I mean? Like kind of like if you listen to bagpipe music or duduk music, there's always just a droning note there
Right.
that, you know, then
Yes,
your voice can kind of weave in and out of.
exactly. Yeah. No, I have done that.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Do you spend time in the music industry?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I used to, yeah. So, I mean, I'm not a virtuoso or anything, but yeah, I know about recording and so.
Right. Hmm.
And but yeah, I mean, I think that was really cool. I mean, Matt, I mean, there's so much you could do with your voice. I mean, as you probably know, if you want to add other instruments or add you know, even some kind of tribal instruments like a didgeridoo or something would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
The sky's the
all
limit.
opening up. It's yeah. What the message I got before I connected with you was that there would be somebody that would at least one person. Maybe,
Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you real quick. People are having trouble hearing you. You may need to get
Okay.
closer to your mic, or maybe you turned
Okay,
your
thank
mic down while you were singing.
Okay. I will move the mic closer.
Yeah, it's much better. Just
Is
now
that
we
better?
don't. It's better, but
Now
we
you
don't
can't see
you.
me. Yes.
There we go.
Yes. Um, Yes, there was a message that I got before I connected with you,
Hmm.
and it said that at least one person, maybe more, would have an activation in their palms. I wonder if anybody had experienced a tingling feeling in their palms while I was singing.
My wife had been looking at the comments and she said, yes, somebody did mention that, at least one
Yes.
person.
Okay. That's probably the person that I got the message from. That person has had an activation to be a healer. So I would encourage her to start working with that energy and using it.
Hmm.
I mean, it's the energy of the hands. There's certain energy that comes off the hands.
Maybe like you'd like doing Reiki.
Exactly, like that. I mean, it's a natural thing. When something happens to the child, the mother comes over and she just naturally does that to heal. It's a natural impulse because of the way we're made up as beings with this body.
Hmm.
So these palm chakras are the ones that the energy will come from
Hmm.
and will help that person develop, and she should use it.
All right. What is the name of your YouTube channel again?
It's Singing Spheres.
Oh, Singing Spheres. Okay.
Yeah, if you just put in Greg and Singing and Spheres as one word, I'll pop up at the top.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Do you ever sing for anybody there at the university, or do you give a performance there?
Not at any one of their events yet, although I have sung for many of the people that have come to when we had the Crop Circle Gallery. They would come to this, and I'd sing for maybe 40 or 50 people, and many of them were people that went to the school there or were teachers there. And so many people in this town know about me and have experienced what this is. And I started in 2011, and it just keeps getting more and more powerful. I mean, I had a very powerful activation in 2022 that really stepped me up for even more of this type of activity. And that's why I'm starting to step out more and, contact people like yourself that can, help springboard me onto um, discovery for
Bigger
people.
things.
Yeah, bigger.
What percentage of the population do you think there in Fairfield goes to the university?
What percentage of the population?
Yeah, I know this is a really weird question probably, but I was just curious about, do you think I don't think many people live there, a few thousand or something?
There's 10,000 that live in Fairfield.
Would you say like half the people are involved with the university?
In terms of being
either going there for meditation or being a professor there or a student.
Right. I would say maybe a quarter.
A quarter.
Yeah, and then there's all the people that they work for the university. So the university has a big presence here. I mean, it is the thing. When you say Fairfield, Iowa,
yeah,
that's it.
I mean, if the university left, I mean, maybe half the town would leave, right?
Yeah. Well, the movement bought this university in 1974 from old Parsons College, which was referred to as Dropout U. It was a place where people could go to and go to college and avoid the consequences of a terrible war.
Yeah.
And they ran out of funds and ran out of students, and it sat idle for a while, and then we came here in '74 and bought the university, and it kept growing and growing. So there's a lot of over all those years since '74, there's been a lot of people that have learned TM, and they may not always go to the university, but they're around, and there's a lot of people that.
I think a lot of people from around the world like to fly in or drive in and go to the university, or at least attend events or things there.
Oh, yes, it is, and there's a lot of very high profile Hollywood people that come to.
Right.
I mean, I won't mention his name, but my wife was driving down a road near the very famous Raj Hotel and Spa, and she drove past this man, and he introduced him as I'm so and so, the actor,
Mm-hmm.
and someone you would really know. I don't know if I should share this story or not, but yeah, there's a lot of people that have learned TM. You know, of course, David Lynch, the famous director. Yeah, he's responsible for a lot of the generating a lot of funds for the university and for helping people learn TM that they can't afford to learn TM, and getting it into schools and yeah, there's a lot. I personally, I think it's the best thing for me, and it really helped me develop my consciousness, and it just keeps expanding and expanding, and whatever you put your attention on is you have that ability to be successful on that level, and that's where I put my ability into singing. Late in life I learned it, and then all of a sudden this other thing came around, and I never really thought of that as a kid, that I was going to be a singing healer. I mean, that was not in the books.
Well, do you have anything else that is going on that you want people to know about?
Well, we're in a transition. It's inevitable that this world is going to shift into what we call heaven on earth. I mean, it is a reality. There's no stopping it. So have hope, because it is real. This shift in consciousness, and there's so much light coming in, and there's so much good coming in, that we happen to notice the shadows as the light shifts across the plane. But those shadows are going. They're being transformed, and we're going to have a beautiful world. We're just in the transition part, which from 2020 to maybe 2025, I think things will smooth out after 2025. But it's inevitable. We're going to have a beautiful world, and it's going to be a world of so much great progress in every area, and it's a hopeful sign. So never lose hope. And so that's
well, Greg, thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much for coming and singing for us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Someone else, we said your YouTube channel. Is your website also called Singing Spheres?
Yes, it's singingspheres.net.
.net.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go here. I'm about to end my show. So again, thank you so much for coming and being with us today. Yes. I wish you massive success in whatever you're doing.
Thank you, Jeff. And thank you for listening, and thank you for bringing me onto your show without knowing what I could do or whether I was any good.
Yeah, well, it was a pleasure having you, and a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much, Greg.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Let me give Greg a big round of applause. So that was pretty cool for our new format of having guests. I have a couple more people that I may be having that want to come back. Two of my previous guests want to come back, and so maybe I'll get one of them on or both for next Saturday. And so this hopefully will be something that we'll continue doing. It's great because, like I said, we didn't have to deal with background people. So once again, I have this NDE tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy it, and thank you guys so much for watching our videos and hanging out with us. We appreciate you, and we wish you the best. So God bless you, and good night.